Hello, my dear friends. This is Rich Mind, and today I'm going to share with you something that could literally change the course of your life. You know that feeling of being stuck in a cycle of repetition where days seem like copies of each other, devoid of sparkle or color, or that frustration of feeling like you have immense potential, but something is holding you back, preventing you from achieving everything you desire. Yeah, I know exactly what that's like. So to better understand and change this, today we're going to dive deep into the power of emotional and mental states. I'm going to show you how you can master them to transform your life. We'll talk about how to break free from autopilot and take control of your life, how to reignite those moments of sheer brilliance and use them to boost your success. I'll show you how our emotional and mental states directly affect our behavior and how that can be the difference between success and failure. Have you ever considered that the way you see yourself and the world around you can change everything? Today I'm going to share with you how visualization led me to achievements that seemed impossible and how you can do the same. And what if I told you that the right state can open the doors to more love, joy, and power in your life? Yes, it's possible, and I'm going to show you how. Now imagine if you could control your brain to create states that strengthen and elevate you. And that's not all. We'll talk about how to cultivate daily states that enrich your life, like a gardener taking care of their garden. So if you're ready to learn more about your mind, stay with me. Together we'll uncover these secrets and implement strategies that will ignite the flame of your potential. After all, the power to change is in your hands. Imagine that each of us has an internal control panel filled with buttons and levers that can lead us to different emotional and mental states. These states are like colored lenses we put in front of our eyes, changing the way we see and live in the world. They are the sum of millions of neurological processes happening within us every second, influencing every decision, every action, every word that comes out of our mouth. Now think with me. Have you ever had those days when everything seems to go right? Where you feel invincible, capable of conquering the world? That's a resourceful state. On the other hand, have you had those days when nothing seems to work? Where the smallest tasks feel like an impossible mountain to climb? That's a limiting state. And here's the crucial point. Most of these states occur without us even realizing it, without conscious control. But what if I told you that you can learn to change this? That you can choose which lenses you want to wear? I've been there myself, stuck in a state that didn't serve me until I learned to take control. And I'll tell you how. It's like learning to drive. At first it seems complicated, but with practice you get the hang of it, and soon you're shifting gears without thinking. My friends, let me tell you a story that perfectly illustrates the power of states and how they can influence our lives. Once upon a time, there was a man named Ronald, a talented basketball player who, despite his skill, found himself in a state of frustration in his professional life. He was trapped in a cycle of performances below his potential, and it consumed him. Every time he stepped onto the court, his limiting state prevented him from accessing the best of his abilities. Now imagine for a moment being in Ronald's shoes, with all the strategies, muscle responses, and techniques needed for success already recorded in your unconscious, but unable to access them because you're trapped in a disempowering mental state. It's like having a treasure locked in a safe without the combination. Then one day, Ronald learned to change his state. With some simple techniques, he managed to put himself back in the state he was in when he used all that stored information. He learned to connect with that resourceful state he already possessed. And what happened? He went out and played the best game in 15 years, surpassing his own previous record for the number of baskets in a single game. This story is a powerful example of how, when we learn to control and change our states, we can access resources we already have. Ronald didn't need new skills. He just needed the right state to unlock the potential that was already there. And that's exactly what I want you to take into your life. Imagine now that you are like Ronald, but instead of a basketball court, it's your life. What treasures do you have stored, waiting to be released? Which states are keeping you away from your true potential? Think about it, because throughout this video, we're going to unlock that combination together, and I'll show you how you can, like Ronald, access the resourceful state that will lead you to your best game, no matter which court you're playing on. Continuing our conversation about the power of states, I now want to open a new door of understanding for you. Often we live on autopilot, don't we? We wake up, follow our routine, and react to the world around us without even questioning why we do what we do. This happens because most of our emotional and mental states occur without our conscious intervention. We are, in essence, unconscious of the states that dominate our lives. Let me give you an example that might resonate with you. Imagine you're driving to work and suddenly, upon arrival, you barely remember the journey. Your body knew what to do, your hands on the wheel, your feet on the pedals, but your mind was elsewhere. This is a classic example of how we operate on autopilot. Now apply this to your emotional states. How many times have you reacted to a situation with anger or frustration simply because that was the automatic response you've learned over the years? Maybe you didn't even want to react that way, but before you knew it, you were in the middle of an emotional outburst. The good news is that you can learn to become aware of these automatic states and begin to change them. What if I told you that, with a little practice, you could notice when you're entering these states and choose a different response? Would that change the game for you? Let's work together to identify these automatic patterns. I'll teach you to recognize the signs, the cues your body and mind give you before entering an unwanted state. And more importantly, I'll show you how you can intervene, how you can take the steering wheel of your mind and consciously drive towards a more useful and positive state. Identifying automatic patterns is like learning to read between the lines of your own mind. Start by observing your daily reactions. When something doesn't go as planned, how do you respond? With frustration, discouragement, maybe anger. These are valuable clues that reveal the patterns operating on autopilot. Now, how can we shift to a more useful and positive state? First, it's essential to recognize that you have the power of choice. Yes, you can choose how to respond to life's challenges. When faced with a situation that would normally trigger a negative state, take a pause, take a deep breath. This simple act of breathing deeply can be the space you need to insert a new choice. Next, question the usefulness of your current state. Ask yourself, is this state helping or hurting me? Is it bringing me closer or pushing me away from my goals? If the answer is that it's hurting, it's time to change. Here's a powerful technique. Visualize the desired state. Remember a time when you felt powerful, confident, and in control. Relive that experience in your mind. Feel the emotions. Adopt the physical posture you had at that moment. By doing this, you are reprogramming your mind and body to access this more useful and positive state. Remember, change doesn't happen overnight, but with practice and persistence, you'll start to notice a significant difference in how you respond to life situations. You'll begin to feel that you have control, that you can direct your states rather than being directed by them. Now that we've learned to identify and change automatic patterns, let's move on to a transformative concept, the strategy for reactivating power states. Have you ever had that moment when you felt on top of the world, where everything seemed to flow and you were in your best state? Well, these are the power states we want to learn to reactivate at any moment. Think of a power state as a powerful tool at your disposal. It's like having a superpower that you can summon whenever you need it. And the beauty of it is that you've already had these moments, so your body and your mind know exactly what to do to recreate them. Let's go to a practical example. Imagine an athlete before a big competition. He closes his eyes and vividly remembers a time when he performed perfectly. He feels the energy coursing through his body, confidence flooding his mind, the clarity of his focus. He is reactivating a power state. But how can you do this in your life? First, identify a moment when you felt incredibly capable, confident, and energized. Now, close your eyes and relive that moment with all your senses. What were you seeing? What were you hearing? How did your body feel? What emotions were you experiencing? By doing this, you are creating a bridge between the past and the present, bringing that power state into the now. And here's the secret. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to access that state. Over time, you'll be able to summon this state in a matter of seconds. But what if you encounter a new situation where you've never felt confident before? Here's a trick. Use a role model. Think of someone you admire, someone who handles similar situations with grace and mastery. How would that person behave? How would they feel? Try to adopt that posture, that mindset. This can help you create a new power state. Remember, you are the conductor of your own life. you have the power to choose and reactivate the states that will lead you to live the life you desire. So are you ready to become a master in the art of reactivating your power states? Let's continue this journey together, and I promise you will be amazed at how far you can go. So we've understood how to reactivate power states, but now let's delve deeper into the direct connection between these states and our behavior. Have you noticed how on some days everything flows? You wake up, the sun shines brighter, the coffee tastes better, and you feel ready to conquer the world. On these days, your actions reflect this positive internal state, don't they? And when you're in a negative state, it seems that even the simplest tasks become insurmountable mountains. My friends, here's the key. Our internal states are the great directors of the show called human behavior. When you're in an empowering state, your actions tend to be more assertive, your decisions more accurate, and your ability to handle challenges is amplified. On the other hand, a negative state can lead to procrastination, indecision, and even complete avoidance of action. Let me tell you a secret. The state you're in is like a pair of colored glasses. If the glasses are a vibrant color, everything around you takes on that hue. If they're dark, the world seems gloomy. What does this mean? If you learn to control and change your states, you change the color of these glasses and, consequently, the way you act and react to the world. Now, how can we use this to our advantage? First, recognize the state you're in. If it's not a state that favors positive action, change it. Use the reactivation techniques we've already explored. Think about how you want to feel and what behaviors you wish to manifest. If you want to be more confident, adopt a posture of confidence. If you want to be calmer in the face of a challenge, take a deep breath and visualize yourself handling the situation with ease. And if you find yourself stuck in a negative state, ask yourself, what do I gain by staying like this? Often there are no gains, only losses. That's when you have the power to choose a different state, one that puts you back on the path to success and personal fulfillment. Remember, each state you experience is an opportunity to learn and grow. By mastering the art of managing your states, you not only improve your behavior, but also transform your life. And that, my friends, is the true power we all have. But now that we've learned how to alter our emotional and mental states, we need to explore a mental power that allows us to achieve our dreams. This is the power of visualization and internal representation. Have you noticed how the way we see things in our mind directly affects our emotions and actions? That's what we're going to talk about now. Imagine your mind is a stage, and you are the director. The scenes you choose to set on this stage, the images you visualize, have a profound impact on how you feel and, in turn, on how you act. This is what we call internal representation. If you constantly visualize failures, rejections, and disappointments, it's likely that these images will lead you to states of anxiety and hesitation. On the other hand, if you visualize success, acceptance, and joy, these images can inspire confidence and positive action. Let's go to a practical example. Imagine you have a big challenge ahead, perhaps an important presentation at work. If you spend the days leading up to it imagining yourself stumbling over words, forgetting key points, and seeing disapproving faces in the audience, you're setting yourself up for nervousness and doubt. But if you visualize yourself speaking clearly, delivering your ideas confidently, and seeing interested and engaged faces, you're preparing for success. Visualization is a powerful tool. It can be used to mentally rehearse for any situation, build confidence, and even improve skills. Professional athletes, for example, use visualization to enhance their performance, imagining themselves executing the perfect movement. So, how can you apply this in your life? Start with simple actions. Dedicate a few minutes of your day to close your eyes and visualize something you wish to achieve. See yourself accomplishing the action successfully. Feel the emotion of the moment. Hear the sounds around you. The more detailed the visualization, the more impact it will have. And if you encounter doubts or negative thoughts during visualization, don't worry. It's normal. Recognize them and gently guide your mind back to the positive image. With practice, you'll strengthen your ability to maintain internal representations that empower you instead of limiting you. You'll notice that what you frequently visualize, you begin to materialize. But how do we build and maintain those internal states of love, joy, or even power? These are states that we all incessantly seek in our lives, aren't they? But how can we access them consistently? Let's reflect together. Love, joy, and power are not just fleeting emotions. They are deep states that we can cultivate and access. They are like gardens that need to be cared for to flourish. The state of love, for example, is not just a feeling that happens by chance. It is a state you can choose to enter by focusing on the qualities you appreciate in another person, or even on the love you have for yourself. Joy, in turn, is a state that can be nurtured by gratitude, by recognizing the small victories, and by celebrating the moments of happiness that life offers us. When you focus on what you have, rather than on what you lack, joy becomes a more constant companion. And power. Power is a state of being that arises from confidence and certainty in your own abilities and values. It's knowing that you have the capacity to influence your life and the world around you in a positive way. When you feel powerful, you feel capable of taking the reins of your life and steering your destiny. Now, how can we effectively enter these states? First, it's crucial to recognize that you have control. You can choose to enter the state of love by practicing empathy and compassion. You can choose joy by focusing on the present and appreciating the wonders around you, and you can choose power by asserting yourself, setting goals, and taking actions aligned with your deepest values. Remember, my friends, the state you choose to live in determines the quality of your life. But my friend, you may have heard that consistency is the key to success in any area of life. And this is no different when we talk about the power of our emotional and mental states. But how can we incorporate this practice into our daily lives to truly experience significant and lasting transformations? First, we need to understand that daily practice isn't just about repeating something mechanically. It's about creating a ritual that nurtures your mind, body, and spirit. It's a commitment to your personal development, a scheduled meeting with your higher self. Let me give you a practical example. Imagine you want to develop a state of greater confidence. Every day you could dedicate a few minutes to visualize yourself acting confidently in various situations. It could be in work meetings, social interactions, or even when facing personal challenges. By doing this, you're training your mind to access that state when you most need it. Another powerful practice is meditation. It can help you connect with a state of calm and clarity, essential for making wise decisions and keeping focused on your goals. Even if it's just for 5 minutes a day, this time of introspection can be transformative. Now, I know there may be days when you feel less motivated or even doubt whether these practices are making a difference, but that's normal. The important thing is not to give up and to do what we learned today. Change your state to a positive one. Remember that every small step is part of a larger journey. And as your mentor, I'm here to remind you that persistence leads to excellence. So how about starting this practice today? Choose a small action that you will perform daily, something that brings you closer to the state you wish to cultivate. It could be a moment of gratitude in the morning, a positive affirmation, or a visualization exercise. The important thing is that it's meaningful to you and that you commit to doing it every day. Remember, daily practice is the fertile soil where the seeds of your dreams and goals germinate and grow. Take care of this garden, and with time and dedication, you will see the flowers of success and fulfillment bloom in your life. My dear friends, we have reached the end of our journey today, but not the end of the path of knowledge. Today we talked about the extraordinary power of emotional and mental states, and how they are the master key to unlocking the limitless potential that resides within each of us. Throughout this video, we explored how the states we cultivate can not only shape our experiences, but also determine the quality of our lives. We understood that we are not at the mercy of fate's whims. On the contrary, we have the power to choose and create the emotional states we wish to experience. We saw that it is indeed possible to transform our internal reality and consequently our external life. The pain of feeling powerless in the face of challenges can be alleviated by understanding that you have control over how you feel and how you act. We learned that if we change our state, that is, the perception and emotion about an event, we also change our reality. You are the architect of your emotional and mental states. With the tools and techniques we shared, you have everything you need to build a life of love, joy, and power. Now, I encourage you to take these lessons forward, to apply them in your daily lives, and to observe the transformations that will occur. Follow me on Instagram through the link I left in the description, and also take the opportunity to download my ebook on techniques to unlock the third eye, also available in the description. It's a simple ebook, but with practices that will help you awaken the inner power within you. This is a gift from me to you for following our channel. Before we part ways, I want to invite you to continue this journey of growth and discovery. If this video was helpful to you, don't keep this information to yourself. Share it with those around you who can also benefit from these teachings. And don't forget to subscribe to the Rich Mind channel to receive notifications of upcoming videos that will continue to enrich our journey. Leave your comment below, sharing your experiences, impressions, and suggestions for future topics. Your feedback is essential for us to continue growing together. And of course, I invite you to watch the other videos on the channel, which will be indicated on the cards and the end screen of this video. Until our next meeting here on the Rich Mind channel.